Hello and welcome to Math Excel Educator. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to find out the lower and upper bound for numbers. Here, I have four numbers. A equals 5.6 to 1 decimal place. B equals 24.1 to 1 decimal place. C is equal to 145 to 3 significant figures, and D equals 0.34 to 2 decimal place. What we are looking for is to find the lower and upper bounds for A plus B, A minus B, C times D, and C divided by D. Before we begin, let's quickly find out the lower and upper bounds for A, which is going to be 5.55 and 5.65. For B, it's going to be 24.05 and 24.15. For C, it's 144.5 and 145.5, and for D it's 0.335 to 0.345. Now that we have all the lower bounds and the upper bounds of A, B, C, D, we can start finding the lower bound and upper bound for A plus B, A minus B, C times D, and C divided by D. So let's get started. A plus B. The lower bound would be the lower bound of A plus the lower bound of B, and for the upper bound it's going to be upper bound of A plus the upper bound of B. So lower bound of A, which is 5.55, plus the lower bound of B, which is 24.05. Upper bound of A is 5.65 and the upper bound of B is 24.15. The lower bound of A plus B equates to 29.6 and the upper bound of A plus B equates to 29.8. So this is your lower bound and this is the upper bound for A plus B. Let's move to the next question, which is to find out the lower bound of A minus B. A minus B. The lower bound of A minus B will be upper bound of A minus the lower bound of B, and for the upper bound of A minus B, it's going to be lower bound of A minus the upper bound of B. The upper bound of A is 5.65 minus 24.05, the lower bound of B. The lower bound of A, which is 5.55, minus the upper bound of B, which is 24.15. The lower bound of A minus B equates to negative 18.4, and the upper bound of A minus B equates to negative 18.6. So this is going to be the lower bound, and this is going to be the upper bound of A minus B. Moving forward with the third question, we are now looking for the lower and the upper bound of C times D. The lower bound of C times D would be the lower bound of C times the lower bound of D, and the upper bound of C times D would be upper bound of C times the upper bound of D. Lower bound of C is 144.5 times the lower bound of D, which is 0.335. The upper bound of C is 145.5 times the upper bound of D, which is 0.345. The lower bound of C times D equates to 48.4, and the upper bound of C times D equates to 50.2. So this is the lower bound, and this is the upper bound of C times D. Let's check out the last part, where we need to find out the lower and upper bound of C divided by D. The lower bound of C divided by B will be the lower bound of C divided by the upper bound of D, and for the upper bound of C divided by B, it's going to be upper bound of C divided by the lower bound of D. The lower bound of C is 144.5, and the upper bound of D is 0.345. The upper bound of C divided by D, here upper bound of C is 145.5, and the lower bound of D is 0.335. So the lower bound of C divided by D would be 418.8, and the upper bound of C divided by D would be 434.3. And if you are writing them as three significant figures, then the lower bound will become 419 and the upper bound will be 434. So we have the lower bound and this as the upper bound of C divided by D. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks for